G'day guys and welcome back to another video on the YouTube channel, and in today's video we'll be doing my round 18 tips and predictions for the AFL season. It's going to be a good video. Hope you guys enjoy the video, put lots of time and effort into this, and let's just get straight into the tips. So now guys, let's review the round we had of AFL tipping. Got a 4 out of 9, which is pretty disappointing, as it's pretty easy around the tipping, and really I should have been getting these tips correct. But the first tip was pretty hard. I tipped backed in Collingwood because Essendon haven't better top 8 side this year, so I tipped the Collingwood Magpies to get the job done. Of course, they just lost the game, did they? In the third quarter, it's just a bit disappointing. And then Gold Coast versus North Melbourne. North got an upset win. Didn't watch much of this, but it was a pretty good game, I guess, near the end. At least North got off the bottom of the ladder, which is pretty good. And now the Bulldogs versus Port Adelaide. Bulldogs backed in the doggies, thinking they're decently good in the Adelaide Oval, and it was not to be on that day. They just lost the game. Butters, Wines, and Rosie just dominated. Then my Hawks streak is over at HBA Stadium. We lost that game pretty convincingly. We deserved to lose that. So our big outs was Sicily and Ginnivan, and it really did hurt us. We had Mitch Lewis back in the team, but I think he's injured again now. So not good signs for the Hawks as we lost this. It's not going to look good if we're going to look for finals. And then I got the Giants tip correct. This was like an upset tip. Got this one correct. Pretty good tip to get right. And then Fremantle vs Richmond, got that tip correct. Pretty obvious one. Melbourne vs West Coast. Thought Melbourne can get revenge of the West Coast Eagles and Harley Reid. That was to be. St Kilda and Sydney did not watch none of this game, but I've Sydney been losing a bit of form of late of their winning. A bit. Brisbane vs Adelaide. Got that tip correct at the Gabba, and so now let's review my tipping comp. Probably good score. Let's see. Who was the best score for round 17? Oscar Dwyer. Oscar Dwyer is the highest scorer for round 17. And ESPN Footy Tips is first in my tipping comp, but it's pretty equal between Pee-wee and ESPN Footy Tips. So congratulations to them. Let's just get into the tipping now. Now the Collingwood Magpies taking on the Geelong Cats at the MCG Friday 12th of July, 7:40pm. The Collingwood Magpies coming off a loss against the Bombers by 12 points, which was pretty bad for them, really. And then Geelong coming off a good win against my Hawks and ending the Hawks streak. But Collingwood, they should have won that game. Darcy Moore in poor form though. And really, the Collingwood Magpies just weren't looking good that game. Just Essendon had good ball movement and everything, and now their finals chance look really slim. And Geelong are in good form after that win against Hawthorn. And I think Geelong have the upper hand here. I think Geelong are going to get the job done here by 7 points. Now the Hawkers taking on the Freo Dockers at UTAS on 13th of July, of course. My Hawks lost to the Geelong Cats, and that's a big loss for us in terms of our streak. So it really hurt after I lost, but after we lost, and Mitch Lewis's injury did not look good at all. So not good signs for the Hawkers, and I think we'll get James Sicily back next week, but I don't know. I don't really know about the Hawkers at the moment. We've just really been a slop. The Freo Dockers, they can come to play in this one, and I think the Freo Dockers will get the job done by 23 points. So now at the SCG, North Melbourne taking on the Sydney Swans at Marvel Stadium. Both of these teams, North Melbourne coming off a win against Gold Coast, one of the upsets of the round, and Sydney, they just lost against St Kilda Saints, and I would be disappointed if I were them, coming back from 30 points down to Saints, but I still got it back into Swans, and the Swans to get it done by a good 26 points. Now the Western Bulldogs taking on the Carlton Blues at Marvel Stadium on the Saturday, 13th of July. It's a bit of a twilight game at Marvel under the roof. Of course, the Western Bulldogs coming after a loss against Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. Reasonably play well at the Adelaide Oval, but was not to be. And then the Carlton Blues also losing to the GWS Giants, which was pretty disappointing. They played throughout the first quarter and the third quarter, but both these teams coming off losses, of course. But the last time they met, Bulldogs won a Marvel, and it could be the same scenario around here. Bulldogs' finals chances are really low now. They can still make it, and Carlton, I think they're secured, but I think the Dogs get it done by 4. So now the Crows taking on the St Kilda Saints at the Adelaide Oval, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a good contest, I feel. Adelaide coming off a loss against Brisbane by 11 points, while the St Kilda Saints coming off a big win against the Sydney Swans by 2 points. But I think Adelaide can bounce back. I think Adelaide have the depth in their team, Ben Keays and all that. I think the Adelaide Crows will get the job done, really. And I think they'll get the job done by a good 16 points. Alrighty, now we got the Essendon Bombers taking on the Melbourne Demons at the MCG. 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a good contest. But really, Melbourne coming off a big win against the West Coast Eagles, and then the Essendon Bombers also coming off a shocking win against the Collingwood Magpies. So both teams coming off wins, but I feel like at the MCG, really, I think Melbourne will be too strong and they'll get the job done by 31 points. Now the Power taking on the Gold Coast Suns at People's First Stadium on Sunday, 14th of July, 1:10 p.m. Both these teams gotta put a big fight out, yeah. Port coming off a good win against the Western Bulldogs, which was very good indeed, I'll say. And I think Gold Coast, can they do something here at People's First Stadium? It's their home ground. They usually do play well at home. So I'm thinking Gold Coast will get the job done. And I have to back in the Sunnies to get the job done by 43 points. Now the Giants taking on the Richmond Tigers on the Sunday, 14th of July, 3:20 p.m. The Giants, they are a good shot for finals, but I don't think they'll get there in Richmond. So both teams not looking like they'll play finals in this year, and I think so too. Both teams are not going to play finals, really. Richmond at the moment, the Wooden Spooners. GWS will get a bit of credit to their name after this game. I feel like they'll smash the Tigers by a good 51 points away. Now to finish off the round at Optus Stadium, West Coast vs Brisbane. Brisbane won against Adelaide by 11 points, which was pretty good. The West Coast Eagles coming off a thrashing against Melbourne Demons. So both teams, I think Brisbane are well and truly up for the task here at Optus. Can West Coast play good at Optus? That's the question. Not really sure, are you? It's going to be a really good game of footy, but I don't think it will be that good. And Brisbane get the job done by 37 points. Now, guys, I know I've been a bit inconvenient. I'm going to get this video on the Tuesday, just been busy with stuff. But like and subscribe, because 10% of you are only subscribed. So subscribe as we just hit 500 and subscribe to the channel.